Hello, welcome to the Learn English Lab. Today, we're diving deep into a really fascinating corner of advanced English vocabulary. We're talking C1 level words, specifically those that begin with the letter I.
Right, quite a specific focus today, and quite a lot of them when you look closely.
Exactly. Think of this as a targeted boost for your understanding and, your speaking skills. We've gathered a pretty substantial collection of these terms.
And they are packed with subtle meanings, aren't they? So many different applications. Our goal, I suppose, is to unpack them clearly.
Make them engaging and immediately useful for you. That's the plan.
It's quite remarkable, actually, the sheer breadth of concepts that fall just under this one letter, I.
It really is.
These words really showcase the richness of English, covering everything from abstract ideas to some very concrete realities. Getting a solid grasp definitely offers you greater precision.
And confidence, too, in how you communicate.
Definitely confidence.
Absolutely. So we're going to navigate through quite a range. We've got abstract concepts like ideological and ideology, but then more tangible ones like identification, implementation.
And some carry real weight, don't they? You mentioned idiot earlier.
Yes, and it's worth flagging straight away that one's very informal can be quite offensive, so probably best used with extreme caution, if at all.
Good point. And then there are words describing states like ignorance or isolation.
Exactly. So you'll get some insight into how these words work in different contexts. Could be formal writing, could be just everyday chats or, understanding complex arguments.
And I think for the listener, looking at the bigger picture, mastering vocabulary at this C1 level, it isn't just about learning more words, is it?
No, not just ticking boxes.
It's about gaining a finer control, a more delicate way of expressing yourself and interpreting those nuances in what other people are saying or writing.
Yeah.
It's a step beyond just basic understanding.
A more sophisticated grasp of English. Okay, let's explore a bit more. We'll look at the power of descriptive language with imagery.
Oh, lovely word.
The significance of scale with immense, that feeling of urgency you get with imminent.
Yes, and processes too, like implementation, imprison, incarcerate.
And concepts like inability or inadequate. Understanding those subtle differences, say between imprison and incarcerate, or the different ways you might use words like incur or induce, that's going to be a key focus.
It really will. So get ready, everyone, to uncover the specific ways these I words contribute to more sophisticated English communication.
It does make you think, doesn't it? How often do you actually come across these specific words?
And are you always completely sure about what they mean precisely or how to use them correctly? This exploration should help solidify that understanding.
Empower you to use them accurately with confidence. Right, let's start with identification. So this is a noun. It signifies that process of recognizing or establishing exactly what something is. Like you might need proper identification to get into a building.
Or scientists making a key identification of a new species, maybe.
Good example. And it can also mean that feeling of connection, like your identification with a character in a book.
That's interesting about identification, the range it covers for you, security, science, but also those personal, empathetic connections.
It really highlights that human drive to categorize, to make sense of things.
And our ability to relate, even to fictional people.
Okay, next up. Ideological. This is an adjective. It relates to a system of ideas or beliefs, often political, maybe religious, cultural.
Right. So a discussion might turn ideological, focusing less on the practical side.
Or two people might struggle to agree because they have these deeply held ideological differences. And the related noun, of course, is ideology.
The system of ideas itself, like capitalism and socialism, clear examples of contrasting ideologies.
Understanding ideology is pretty key, isn't it, for grasping how societies work?
Oh, absolutely. And why certain conflicts come up. These underlying belief systems, they shape our values, influence our actions, often subtly beneath the surface.
Recognizing those ideological foundations helps you get a deeper understanding of different viewpoints.
Definitely.
Now, that word we mentioned, idiot, we need to handle this one carefully. It's a noun, it's informal, and it's pretty offensive.
Yes, meaning a very foolish or unintelligent person. It's strongly negative.
Generally best for you to just avoid using it altogether, really. You might hear someone say, don't be an idiot, check your work, but
it's just not appropriate language in most situations. It's important for your understanding to know it exists, know what it means if you encounter it.
But using it yourself, strongly discourage. It's disrespectful.
Many better ways to say someone acted unwisely.
Okay, moving on. Ignorance, a noun. referring to a lack of knowledge or awareness.
For example, someone's ignorance of a rule doesn't usually excuse breaking it.
Right. It's often used when someone just hasn't learned something or doesn't understand it.
And ignorance itself, it isn't necessarily a negative judgment for you to make about someone. It just describes a state not knowing.
The important part is what you do when you realize you lack knowledge.
Exactly. Do you seek to learn or choose to stay uninformed? That's the crucial bit.
Imagery. Now this is a captivating word. Noun. Refers to visually descriptive language, in writing or speech.
Poets use it all the time. Nature imagery, perhaps, to make poems more vivid.
Painting pictures in your mind as you read.
And the power of imagery for you is really its ability to create sensory experiences just through words. It lets writers transport the audience.
Makes abstract things feel more real, easier to connect with.
Precisely.
Immense. An adjective meaning extremely large or great. Like a project might need immense effort from you.
Or you might feel immense relief after good news. It just conveys that significant scale or degree.
And notice for yourself the difference in impact. Immense versus just big.
Yeah. Immense suggests a scale that's almost overwhelming sometimes. Really emphasizes the vastness, the intensity for you.
Then we have imminent, an adjective describing something that's about to happen very soon. Often something, negative or serious.
Like dark clouds signaling imminent rain.
Or you might read about a country facing imminent economic collapse. It carries that feeling of urgency.
And inevitability, almost. It suggests the event is right on the verge, needing immediate attention or preparation.
Okay, implementation. As a noun, this is the process of putting a plan or a system into action.
For example, the implementation of a new company policy.
Yeah.
That can take a lot of time and effort for everyone involved.
The success of any plan really depends on effective implementation, doesn't it?
Absolutely, for you to see results. It involves careful planning, resources, and the actual doing, turning ideas into reality.
Imprison, a verb, meaning to put someone in prison or keep them captive. It's quite a formal term.
Yes, confining someone as punishment. A criminal might be imprisoned for their crime.
It highlights the act of confinement, often within that formal legal structure, depriving freedom as a consequence.
Something you might read about.
Inability, noun, refers to the lack of capacity to do something.
Someone's inability to concentrate might affect their work.
Or a child's inability to swim makes being near water a potential danger for you to think about.
It just points to a limitation, physical, mental, maybe circumstantial, preventing an action, a state of being you might encounter.
Inadequate, an adjective meaning not sufficient or just not good enough.
An explanation might be inadequate to fully answer your question, perhaps.
Or, sadly, many people live in inadequate housing. It describes a deficiency, a lack in quality or quantity.
Inadequate suggests a shortfall, something that doesn't meet what's needed or expected by you or others. Recognizing what's inadequate is often the first step towards improvement.
We also have inappropriate, adjective, describing something not suitable or proper in a particular situation.
Context is absolutely key here for you. A joke might be inappropriate at a serious meeting.
Or certain clothes might be seen as inappropriate for a formal event you might go to.
Exactly. What's fine in one setting can be totally unsuitable in another.
Incarcerate, another verb, a more formal synonym for imprison, meaning to put someone in prison.
You might read about a political activist being incarcerated for their beliefs.
And the noun is incarceration, referring to the state of being confined in prison. It's a term often used in legal or social justice discussions you might follow.
And the choice between imprison and incarcerate often depends on the formality of the context for you. Incarcerated tends to pop up more in official or legal talk about imprisonment.
Incidence, a noun. This refers to the frequency with which something happens, especially something negative.
You might see a report on a rise in the incidence of a particular illness, for instance, often used in statistical or health contexts relevant to you.
Right. Incidence gives you valuable data for understanding trends, patterns, especially in public health or social issues.
Tracking the incidence helps identify problems, evaluate interventions.
Inclined, an adjective, meaning having a tendency to do something or feel a certain way.
Someone might be naturally inclined to help others.
Or you might not be inclined to believe a story without proof. It suggests a leaning, a tendency towards an action or feeling for you.
Yeah, inclined often reflects a predisposition, maybe a natural tendency. Not a firm decision, more a leaning in a direction you might notice in yourself or others.
Inclusion, Noun, the act of including someone or something as part of a group. It's a really vital concept in diversity and equality discussions.
Absolutely. Inclusion is essential for building a fair society that benefits everyone, including you.
And inclusion goes beyond just having people there, doesn't it? Beyond representation.
It really does for you. It means a welcoming, supportive environment where everyone feels valued, has equal opportunities to participate fully.
To incur, this is verb, it means to become subject to something undesirable because of your actions.
For instance, you might incur debt by overspending.
Or you might incur someone's displeasure by being late all the time. Usually relates to negative consequences for you.
Incur really highlights that cause and effect link between actions and negative outcomes, financial, emotional, whatever.
An indicator, noun, a sign or piece of information that shows something.
Rising global temperatures are a key indicator of climate change, for example.
And blood pressure is a critical indicator of your heart health. It provides evidence, suggests a particular state for you.
Indicators are incredibly valuable for you in understanding complex systems, making informed decisions. They give measurable data points, signaling changes, trends, potential problems.
Indictment, noun, a formal charge or accusation of a serious crime.
A grand jury issues an indictment if there's enough evidence to go to a full trial, something you might follow in the news.
Indictment is a crucial step in the legal process you should be aware of. It signifies enough cause to formally accuse someone and bring them to court. Indigenous, an adjective describing something originating naturally in a particular place. Native.
We often talk about indigenous tribes around the world.
Or indigenous plants in a specific region. It emphasizes that deep connection to a location for you to understand.
And respect for indigenous cultures and their knowledge is increasingly seen as essential, isn't it? For biodiversity, understanding ecosystems.
These communities often hold invaluable wisdom.
Accumulated over generations.
To induce, verb, means to cause or bring something about.
Significant stress can induce headaches, for example.
Or a doctor might induce labor in certain medical situations. It suggests triggering a state or event.
Induce implies the direct causal link for you. One thing leads to another. Used in lots of contexts, medical things affecting you or someone you know, or emotional responses you might see.
To indulge. This means allowing yourself or someone else to enjoy something, often maybe a bit too much.
You might indulge in a favorite dessert.
Or you might choose not to indulge someone's bad behavior. It can have positive and negative sides for you to think about.
The act of indulging for you often involves a temporary release of restraint. Could be a treat, or negatively, permissiveness leading to bad outcomes.
Inequality,
Noun.
refers to a lack of equality, unfair differences in access, opportunity, treatment.
Income inequality, gender inequality, huge global issues you might discuss. It highlights those disparities in society.
Addressing inequality in its various forms is a central challenge, isn't it? Something for you to be aware of in trying to create more just societies.
It really is. Requires understanding the systemic factors behind those disparities.
Infamous, adjective meaning well known for something bad.
A notorious criminal might be infamous for their crimes.
Or a prison could be infamous for harsh conditions you might read about. It's the opposite of being famous in a good way.
Infamous carries that strong negative association for you, linking someone or something with notoriety because of bad actions or traits.
An infant, noun, a very young child or baby.
Infant mortality rates are often used as a critical measure of a society's health, something you might see in reports.
The health and well-being of infants is a top priority in healthcare and social policy, important for you to understand. It's a time of rapid development and high vulnerability.
Absolutely.
To infect, verb, means to transmit a disease or maybe a harmful influence.
The contagious virus can infect many people, obviously.
But enthusiasm can also infect a team in a good way that you might witness.
So infect can be literal spread of pathogens affecting you, or metaphorical, describing the spread of ideas or emotions you might experience.
To inflict. This means to cause something harmful or unpleasant to be suffered by someone.
A dictator might inflict punishments on people.
Or war can inflict unimaginable suffering on populations that you might learn about. It really emphasizes causing pain or damage.
Inflict often implies a deliberate, forceful imposition of something negative onto another, something for you to consider when discussing power.
Influential. Adjective, describing someone or something having the power to affect people or events.
An influential leader can shape history that you study.
Or an influential book can change how people think.
The impact of influential figures and works can be really far-reaching for you to observe, shaping opinions, driving change, leaving a legacy.
Inherent. Adjective. Meaning existing as a natural, essential part of something.
Like, a certain level of risk is inherent in any investment you might make.
Or there might be an inherent beauty in nature around you. It describes an intrinsic quality.
Inherent qualities are deeply ingrained, inseparable from the basic nature of something for you to understand. Recognizing these is crucial for grasping core characteristics.
To inhibit means to hold back or prevent something, especially behavior or actions.
Fear can inhibit creativity, for example.
Or certain medicines inhibit bacterial growth in your body. It suggests a restraining effect.
Inhibit implies a blocking or slowing down of a process or action for you, often due to internal factors like fear or external influences.
To initiate means to begin or start something.
A company might initiate a new training program.
Or someone might take the first step to initiate a conversation with you. It marks the start of an action.
The act of initiating is that crucial first step for you in bringing something new about or starting a new phase.
To inject means to introduce a substance in something, often with a syringe. Very common medically, like injecting a vaccine for your health. But also used metaphorically, right? Like injecting enthusiasm into a presentation you might give.
Exactly. And the noun is injection, the act or the substance.
So inject, in its literal sense, is that precise medical procedure you might experience, while metaphorically it describes adding something impactful into a situation.
Injustice, noun, a lack of fairness or justice.
People often protest against racial injustice, highlighting unfair treatment within systems that affect many, including you.
Recognizing and actively addressing injustice is fundamental for you in striving for a moral, ethical society.
It requires challenging systems and practices that perpetuate unfairness.
An inmate, noun, a person confined to a prison or similar institution.
Inmates have specific rights and limitations within the facility that you might learn about.
The term inmate carries significant legal and social weight, referring to individuals deprived of liberty, subject to correctional facility rules. To inquire, a verb meaning to ask for information, often in a slightly formal way.
You might inquire about product availability, or whether a job position is still open for applications.
Inquire serves as a more formal alternative to just ask, often used in professional or official communications you might have.
Insertion, noun, the act of putting something directly into something else.
Can be physical, inserting a key into a lock.
Or more abstract, like the insertion of a new clause into a legal agreement.
The idea of insertion implies a deliberate act of placing something within a defined space or context, often intending to integrate or alter the existing structure for you to understand.
An insider, noun, a person with special knowledge or privileged access, often within an organization.
An insider might know confidential company secrets or have other privileged info.
Being an insider can provide unique insights for you, but it also comes with ethical responsibilities, doesn't it?
Big time. Especially concerning how that privileged information is used or potentially misused.
To inspect means to look at something very closely, carefully, check for problems, assess quality.
Like thoroughly inspecting a used car for mechanical issues before you buy it.
Right. And the noun is inspection, the examination itself.
Thorough inspection is absolutely crucial for you in ensuring safety standards, quality control, compliance with regulations across many fields.
Inspiration, noun, refers to that sudden, brilliant, or creative idea.
Or a person or thing that motivates you to action.
Yes. The beauty of nature can be a powerful source of inspiration for artists, for instance.
Inspiration is often that initial spark, igniting creativity, driving innovation for you. It can come from unexpected places, essential for overcoming challenges, generating new ideas.
Instinct, noun, a natural, unlearned pattern of behavior or reaction.
Animals rely heavily on instincts for survival.
And you might sometimes get a gut instinct that something isn't quite right in a situation, often contrasted with conscious thought.
Instinct represents that fundamental level of understanding, immediate response, often rooted in survival needs, primal drives. While logic is huge for humans, instinct still subtly influences your initial reactions, perceptions.
Institutional, adjective, relating to a large organization or established system, often formal.
We might discuss institutional corruption in government, perhaps.
Or the need for a robust institutional support for social reforms.
Institutional factors often exert substantial influence on individuals and society, shaping policies, practices, norms within established frameworks you encounter.
To instruct means to teach someone or give them official information or directions.
A teacher's main role is to instruct students.
Or you might be formally instructed to wait somewhere.
The act of instructing involves actively imparting knowledge or clear guidance to you, often carrying some authority or expertise.
Instrumental, adjective, meaning very important, helpful in causing something to happen or achieving an outcome.
A dedicated person might be instrumental in launching a community campaign successfully. It highlights a really key role in reaching a goal.
To be described as instrumental signifies playing a vital, often indispensable part in a process or achievement you might observe or be part of.
Definitely.
Insufficient, adjective, meaning simply not enough in amount, strength, or quality.
Allocated funds might prove insufficient to complete a project.
Or someone might receive insufficient training for a demanding new job, clearly indicates a lack of what's needed.
Recognizing when something is insufficient is a crucial skill for you in problem-solving, resource management. Addressing deficiencies often needs more resources or a revised approach.
Insult can be a noun, a disrespectful remark or action, or a verb to treat someone disrespectfully.
Calling someone lazy is a clear insult.
And it's always wise for you to avoid insulting people's intelligence or abilities.
An insult is intentionally designed to demean or offend, causing emotional hurt, potentially damaging relationships you value.
Intact, adjective, meaning not damaged, not changed, remaining whole or complete.
Despite an accident, a precious heirloom might remain completely intact, maybe.
The state of being intact signifies preservation, resilience, often seen when facing potential harm or damage you might witness.
That sense of wholeness.
Intake, noun, refers to the total amount of something taken in food, drink, air.
Doctors often ask patients about their daily sugar intake, for instance. Also used in technical or scientific contexts you might come across.
Carefully monitoring intake levels is critical for health, environmental control, and overseeing various systems.
Yeah.
Integral, adjective, meaning absolutely essential, fundamentally necessary to make something complete or functional.
Mutual trust is an integral part of any strong relationship you might have. It highlights a core, indispensable component.
Something that's integral just can't be removed without harming the whole thing's integrity or function, a vital part of the structure or process.
Exactly.
Integrated, adjective, describing something combined effectively to form a cohesive whole or functioning smoothly together.
A modern smartphone might have a fully integrated payment system.
And the noun is integration, the process of combining separate elements successfully.
The main goal of integration is creating a more cohesive, efficient system by bringing together previously separate parts into a seamlessly working whole.
Integrity, noun, refers to that admirable quality of being consistently honest, having strong moral principles.
And it's also used for the soundness or completeness of something, like the structural integrity of a building.
Integrity serves as a cornerstone of trust and ethical behavior, both for personal conduct you value and for ensuring stability and reliability of structures and systems.
Very true.
To intensify, verb, meaning to become considerably stronger or more extreme.
A storm might intensify overnight.
Or efforts to meet a deadline might intensify. The noun is intensity, the degree or strength.
Intensification often happens in response to pressure or as a way to achieve a desired outcome you're striving for. Intensity just describes the level something is experienced or done.
Intensive, adjective, describing something involving a lot of concentrated effort or activity in a short time.
Like an intensive language course.
Or receiving intensive medical care in hospital.
Intensive approaches are often used when rapid progress is needed or a situation demands focused, sustained attention over a limited time.
Intent can be a noun, the purpose behind an action, or an adjective determined, focused on a goal.
Someone's clear intent might be to help you.
Or they might listen with an intent expression.
Fully understanding someone's true intent is absolutely crucial for you in accurately interpreting their actions and communication.
Interactive, adjective, describing something that actively involves participation, two-way communication.
Like effective interactive learning tools.
Or engaging museum exhibits.
Interactive experiences are designed to promote engagement, often leading to more effective learning and better communication.
Interface can be a noun, a point where two systems meet and interact, or a verb to connect or interact with another system.
The software might have a user-friendly interface.
And teachers often need to interface with parents about student progress,
A well-designed interface is essential for you in enabling smooth communication or interaction between different technologies or people.
To interfere means getting involved where you're not wanted, often causing disruption.
Loud noises can interfere with your concentration.
And the noun is interference, the act of getting in the way.
Interference is usually seen negatively because it often disrupts or hinders an ongoing process or situation.
Interim can be a noun, a temporary period, or an adjective occurring during a transition.
A company might appoint an interim CEO while searching for a permanent one.
Interim solutions often provide temporary stability during periods of change or transition, you might observe.
Yes, a holding pattern sometimes.
Interior, noun the inside part, like a building. Adjective relating to the inside, like interior design.
The interior space is often considered for its function and its aesthetic appeal to you.
Intermediate, adjective between two levels. Noun, a person with a middle level of skill, like an intermediate language learner.
Recognizing different proficiency levels like intermediate is helpful for you in tailoring learning resources and activities.
Intersection, noun, a point where two or more things cross or come together.
Like a busy road intersection.
Or the intersection of science and art, perhaps.
The concept of intersection is also really important for you in understanding complex social issues where factors like race, gender, class intersect and interact.
To intervene means becoming actively involved to change what's happening, especially in conflicts or emergencies.
A teacher might intervene in a fight between students. The noun is intervention.
Intervention can be crucial in preventing bad outcomes or resolving conflicts, but it always needs careful thought about potential consequences.
Definitely needs careful consideration.
Intimate can be an adjective closely personal, private, a verb to imply something subtly, or a noun, a very close friend.
Two people might share an intimate friendship.
Or someone might subtly intimate they plan to leave soon.
Intimate relationships and communication usually involve a lot of closeness, trust, and deep understanding.
Intriguing, adjective, meaning extremely interesting or mysterious, capturing your curiosity.
An intriguing idea makes you want to explore it further, learn more.
Something intriguing sparks your curiosity, draws you in, makes you want to uncover secrets or explore possibilities.
Yeah, pulls you in.
Inventory. Noun, a comprehensive list of items, especially stock. Verb, to create such a list.
A shop usually does an annual inventory to track its stock.
Maintaining an accurate inventory is essential for management and efficiency in many industries.
Absolutely vital.
An investigator. Noun, someone whose job is to investigate, especially crimes or suspicious incidents.
Investigators gather evidence, conduct interviews.
Skilled investigators play a vital role in uncovering truth and ensuring accountability in legal matters and other things.
Yes, crucial work.
Invisible, adjective, simply not able to be seen.
Some things are literally invisible.
And you might metaphorically feel invisible in a large crowd.
The concept of invisibility can be literal, can't be seen, and powerfully symbolic, representing feeling unnoticed or ignored.
To invoke means to call on something, authority, memory, a higher power for support or justification.
A lawyer might invoke a specific right in court.
Or someone might invoke the memory of a loved one.
Invoking something often lends weight or justification to an argument or action by appealing to recognized authority or shared values.
Involvement, noun, the act of actively taking part or being closely connected to a situation.
Someone's dedicated involvement in a project might be crucial to its success.
The specific level and nature of your involvement in an event can significantly impact the outcome and your personal experience.
How much you put in, yeah.
Ironic, adjective, describing a situation where the outcome is the opposite of what was expected, often humorously or darkly amusingly.
It's ironic if a fire station burns down, for example.
Ironically is the adverb irony, the noun.
Irony often highlights that stark contrast between appearance and reality, creating a sense of the unexpected or even the absurd for you to recognize.
Irrelevant, adjective, not connected or pertinent to what's being discussed or considered.
An irrelevant comment should be avoided in a focused discussion.
Clearly distinguishing between relevant and irrelevant information is essential for you for clear communication and effective problem solving.
Keeps things on track.
Isolation, noun, the state of being physically separated from others.
Prolonged social isolation can unfortunately have negative effects on mental and emotional well-being.
Isolation can be physical separation or that deep emotional feeling of being disconnected. It can have significant consequences for individuals and communities.
A serious issue.
An issue. As a noun, it's an important topic or problem needing attention. As a verb, it means to officially distribute or give something out.
A company issuing new policy guidelines, for instance.
Identifying and addressing key issues is fundamental to progress in various fields. And the act of issuing often involves an official process or decision.
Right.
To illustrate means to explain or clarify using examples or pictures.
You might illustrate a complex point with a personal anecdote in a presentation.
Skillfully illustrating complex ideas with concrete examples is a powerful tool for enhancing understanding and improving retention of information for you.
Makes it stick.
To impose means to force something to be accepted or obeyed or unfairly burden someone.
A government might impose new regulations.
Or you might try not to impose on someone's time too much.
The act of imposing often involves using authority or creating an obligation or burden for others.
And finally, the verb improvise. This means making or doing something using whatever is available, often without planning.
An actor might have to improvise lines if they forget their script.
The ability to improvise effectively shows adaptability and resourcefulness, especially when facing unexpected challenges.
A really useful skill.
So we've covered quite a journey there, a really rich collection of C1 vocabulary words starting with I, from, basic identification all the way to the huge implications of inequality.
We looked at the descriptive power of words like intriguing, influential, and the importance of concepts like integrity, inclusion.
And those action words, considering the nuances: inquire, inspect, instruct, interfere, intervene. Lots to think about.
Definitely. And it's worth really considering for yourself how these words actually function, in the texts you read, the conversations you have or hear.
Think about those subtle but significant differences. We mentioned imply and infer. Even though infer doesn't start with I, it often gets confused with imply.
That's a common one. Or reflect on the impact of choosing a word like immense instead of just big.
Yeah.
Or when is incarcerate really more appropriate than imprison? Those specific contexts matter.
The English language really is this vast, evolving landscape, isn't it? And mastering these advanced words, it definitely allows you to communicate with more precision.
And more impact, absolutely.
We sincerely hope this deep dive has not only expanded your knowledge of these specific I words, but maybe also sparked your curiosity a bit to explore the intricacies of English vocabulary even further.
Hopefully so.
Thank you for joining us today on the Learn English Lab. Please do like, share, and subscribe to this YouTube channel for more engaging language learning explorations.